Welcome to chat night. We bring you good vibe. We shine on the light. We all over the world. Chat night Africa. We all over the world. Chat night Africa. Welcome to chat night. We bring you good vibe. We shine on the light. Welcome to chat night. We bring you good vibe. We shine on the light. We all over the world. Chat night Africa. We all over the world. Chat night Africa. Welcome to chat night. The only place that we give you good vibe. Chat night Africa. Welcome to chat night. All over the world we are shining the light. Chat night Africa. Welcome to chat night.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Voices of Africa on Chat Night Africa. Thank you for making the decision to watch Voices of Africa on Chat Night. You will be treated to a sensational broadcast. This we promise you. Being a CPDM official in towns and villages in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon is risky business. Those who took up arms against the central government in Yaoundé haven't hidden their zeal to eliminate anyone or anything connected to President Paul Biya, who is the president of the Republic. My guest today, the mayor of Womb Council in the Northwest region, Mr. Anthony Digambong, can be said to be surrounded by a pride of lions. So, how does he do his job? What job? And you ask, why did he take the position of mayor in the first place? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Anthony Digambong, apart from being mayor of Womb Council, is also the first national vice president of United Councils and Cities of Cameroon. Now, help me welcome our august guest on the show. Thank you, Mr. Digambong, for accepting to come on Chat Night Africa and take some questions which might not be so friendly.
Yeah, thank you. It's always my wish to go out and talk about my life and talk about what I do in life. Because they say when people are not informed, they are deformed. So I'm happy to be your guest this evening.
Mr. Digambong, is it accurate to call you a CPDM mayor?
Very accurate, because I was not just elected as CPDM mayor. I have held positions within the CPDM. I started as subsection president. I worked as publicity secretary for the ENS subsection way back in 1994. I was elected vice CPDM section president for Menchum 1 in 2007, and till today, from 2011, I was elected a member of National Bureau of the YCPDM before becoming a CPDM mayor. And I'll be proud to say that I've been sent out by the CPDM party twice out of this country, once in 2010 in South Africa, and in 2015 in China, where I did an exchange visit, which usually comes up between the CPDM party in Cameroon and the Chinese Communist Party in China.
It's no secret, sir, that your municipality is surrounded by lots of armed groups. So, how do you do your job?
First and foremost, I think that there's this philosopher who says that most people whose lives have affected nations and communities have been great risk takers. I am not just a great risk taker, but I am living by the words that my late father gave me when I was elected. In fact, 6 months before I was elected mayor in 2013, my father asked me, he was on the sick bed, when is there elections coming up? Because I would like to vote you before I die, before I go to my grave. And it so happens, it came to pass because even on the day of the elections, I had to go carry him from his bed. I actually, because he was some sort of a disabled, so I had to vote for him. And he got a bit better. 1 week before he died, he held my hand and said, you have to work for the Womb people. No matter the circumstance, you have to work for the Womb people. I repeat this. He repeated it many times, and it's part of my palms. And 1 week later, he gave up. And so the conviction, and I will let you also know something, that on the 16th of October 2013, the day I was elected around 8 p.m. When I came out of the Womb Town Hall, I got a strange noise that I've never heard in my life. From the start, from one end of the town to the other, a noise, sharp noise, woo! And I saw that it was acceptance for a son of soil who was being elected. And so that's one of the reasons, or some of the reasons, why I had to take all the risks to make sure that my people should have some leverage of hope as far as the warring factions are going on, wherever is going on. I have taken.
You say whatever is going on. Do you acknowledge that there are armed groups, a lot of armed groups in Mencham division where your municipality is, sir?
Yeah, of course. At the time when it was hot, way back in 2018, we had about 7 camps in Womb. There were 7 camps, and Womb at one moment between July 2018 and December 2018 was one of the hottest areas as far as this armed conflict is concerned. I can attest that, I can assure you that it was very, very hot in Womb. And I remember some of the activities that we had to carry out as politicians. Because I was not elected during the crisis, I was elected before the crisis. And one thing you must have to know is the fact that where the crisis were intensified is where probably the elected officials were not the choice of the people. I think it's a bit different with our case in Womb, that the politicians there were the choice of the people. And secondly, your output to the population counts a lot in this crisis, especially those who have been in that position, in those positions. If you are performing, if you consider the population as part and parcel of you, it was easy to manage the crisis. I can give you examples upon examples how we managed the crisis to be where we are today.
I'm going to come to that. Are there times that you get caught between what your party wants, the CPDM, the ruling party in Cameroon? That's for those I'm making these positions because there are people watching who are not from Cameroon. So when your party, the aspirations of your party are in conflict with what the people want, what do you do?
I want to be clear about this point. Once you're elected mayor, you are mayor for everybody. No matter the political party, you are there to work for everybody. That notwithstanding, the party stands out tall. The party, we don't have independent candidates in Cameroon as of now. So you come in on the ticket of a political party, and you must, I repeat, you must be able to save your party with diligence. As I just said, in the case of China, people move. Once you are not in the party in China, you are nobody. You must move from the party to get to somewhere. And in China, you don't move from, for example, I'm a mayor of the subdivisional mayor. You have to climb the ladder before getting to the apex or wherever you're going to. But in Cameroon, unfortunately, that is what we are trying to. Rome was not built on a day, as he said. We are still amending, and that's why they keep sending some of us out, Cameroonians out to go and learn. You must have to learn, because learning is a process.
What are your functions as mayor of the Womb Council? Now, I'm not talking about text, I'm talking about what you effectively do or have done.
Yes, that is where I was going to, because if you look at, for example, one of the challenges, one of the things that pricked me so much was the fact that if you see in Womb, in Menchum division, Womb is a divisional headquarters. I'll let you know that Womb, as far as the council additional taxes, what they call CAS, is concerned, Womb is third place as well, and Bena Kuma takes first and second position respectively, because of this simple reason that it is distributed according to the population. And so that is why we have to fight tooth and nail to make sure that we don't even reduce the small population that we have. Within a short time, despite the fact that we are church, when I came in, my predecessor had a pickup that he took over from the former mayor. I came in, and within 8 months, I bought a brand new vehicle. It was not a loan. We did not take it from FECOM. We bought it from the coffers of the council. 1 year later, we bought 2 second-handed tippers, which are still there till date. if I get into projects, I will take the whole of your time. So we made the difference. And so the population was already saying, I remember one of the staunch CPDM militants made a statement. I repeat in pidgin, you want use one mandate for do all projects there for this world to tell you what we're able to do. And it was a wonderful appreciation from the militants and from the population alike. It will interest you to know that I'm the first mayor in the women municipality who have repeated a mandate. It means there is something that the population saw in me.
Where do you live to do all of this?
I lived in whom? I live in whom? I want to tell you, the conviction I told you from the beginning, it's what makes me, knowing that the mothers, the old mothers are there, they support me. I live the will of my father who asked me to work for my people. It will interest you to know that I have never held a single council session out of whom since the crisis began. It will interest you to know that my house was born on the 16th of October. The family house was born on the 16th of October, 2022. But I spent Christmas 2022. The house was born a 4-bedroom house. 3 bedrooms and 3 toilets were all complete down. It is a miracle that people call. Even some of the Amstel groups call me to tell me, what is my secret? Is it a witchcraft? Is it a miracle I'm using? Because the whole house got burnt. The house burnt from the parlor and left the room this way. Came from the other side of the room and left the room, my room. Went through the other rooms, burned the other two rooms the other way and left my room and my toilet. So
if you say the house was burnt, then it means somebody burnt it. If your house was burnt, how can you with a straight face say that you are heralded in womb as a hero? Clearly, there are people who don't want you, and probably those who took up arms against the central government, the party that you represent.
Don't forget that we are into politics, and in politics, we have political enemies. Don't forget about that. We have political enemies. I don't want to go deep into that. But to tell you that we took the pains, my wife and myself, we spent Christmas and New Year in that one single room that was burnt and left. We spent Christmas and New Year there. I have gone, one of the strategies that we use was, even before I joined the CPDM, it was not just because I was desperate. No, I prayed. And one thing I've come to learn is that prayers is the key, like Jesus Christ said. Prayers is the key. Prayer is the master key. Every morning as a leader, I get up and pray. And there was a day I prayed, and I took one of my counselors, and we took the risk and got to a nearby camp where we met some of these non-Amstel groups. We met them, we discussed, and from that day, we started understanding each other. We took the risk. Two of us said we are above the age of Jesus Christ. We are above 33 years. If we die, fine. But we took all the risks, and that risk paid off, because after that, we went into negotiations. We could understand ourselves. Some of them were given some means to settle out, those who wanted to settle out, and so on. And we are
Mr. Digambo, I mean, you decide to walk into separatist, armed separatist groups. Somebody will say you're crazy. You know, that sounds like deciding to jump into a river infested with crocodiles. Did you think you're going to come back?
I don't know where I know about the story of Daniel, who jumped into the lion's den and still came out. Why did he come out? Ask yourself that. There is a story which is going around on WhatsApp that somebody, the master, wanted to do away with him, and he asked him to give him 10 days. And 10 days, he fed dogs, and when the master sent him, the dogs recognized him and told him, and he came back and told the master, I have saved you for years. I've saved dogs only for 10 days, but they're able to recognize you. Why don't you recognize me? So that's exactly what happened. I remember my sacrifices for that community, and I said, certainly they will recognize me. Unfortunately, when I went with my counselor, we were recognized, and we came out successful. And that's why we have this little piece that we have today.
Have you ever been molested? Have you ever been kidnapped?
Yes, those I want to say that those are some of the issues that gave me the bravery that encouraged me to be able to do what I did. Because there is nothing that I've not experienced with the conflict, which is ongoing. There's nothing I've not experienced. I was kidnapped in my home in Bamenda where I was with the then senior division officer. I was kidnapped and taken to the bush, and I slept on bare ground. So when I came back there, what I went through there, I cannot narrate it to you here, but it gave me some courage. It gave me some level of understanding of certain situations. And when I went to home, I was one of the first civilians who entered there was no road to Womb through Bafmen, through Bafut. There was no road at all. And I was expected to come back on a helicopter like I went. Unfortunately for me, by the day I was getting to the field, the small field where it used to come and land, it was taken over. I had to use the military. I was one of the first to have entered the military vehicle to come out, the 18th of January 2019, to come back to Bamenda. And I will tell you that on the 1st of January, there was a sad situation in 1st of January 2020, where 2 young people were shot. At 11 p.m., I was still out because there was some little peace, and I had to come out to celebrate a new year with my youth. On that same fateful day, 2 of them were killed. And I had a conviction to go there even that night. I said, no, let me not take too much risks. I had to go there. 5:30, I was there. And we were all there with all those who matter, the state council, the COPEL, and so on. We saw how to manage the situations. And there are so many examples I can give you what I've gone through. The first time I came out with my vehicle, because my vehicle was packed down, the council vehicle was packed down for 1 year. The first day it came out was to save a crucial situation in Womb, whereby nobody expected. I moved around town for about 3 kilometers and never saw a single soul, to tell you how intense the situation was back there.
The time in captivity when you were kidnapped by the armed groups, what were they asking you to do or not do during your time of captivity?
The first is that they told me that they had not had contributions for me since the fight started. And I was just fortunate, because there is one thing in this world, I started by saying, that prayers and be good as a human being. I was so fortunate that one of them, the secretary of that group, that particular group, was my former student that I taught in Bafut. I'm a physics teacher by profession. This student, after asking my name, he asked my name, and what's their name? I say Antonimvo. He said, no, that's not your name. Your name is Digambo Antonimvo. He said, call me sir. I said, his name was Samson. He said, call me Sir Samson. I said, Mr. Samson. I called about 4 times out of the fright. I went through thin and thick because I had to come out to pee about 15 times at night. And they told me the last time that if I go out, I'll be shot. I had to persevere to that morning. When the leaders of that group came around, and as I said, one of the secretary of that group in particular was my former student. He told them, he said, this was one of our best teachers. When they started our school, he's the one who mobilized. If I was a teacher, that contributed some sand and cement for the construction of that school. So he enumerated all those things. And the guys told me, that is good. That's why we need to survive you. That's why we need to allow you. But we want to assure you that when we take over, you will come and build our schools too. That was the statement they made to me. And so those are some of the things that I went through while back then in the camp.
They didn't ask you to resign your position as mayor?
No, that was the fortunate thing that didn't happen with me. Nobody actually asked me. Actually, before, that's why I talk again about kindness. By the time I got to camp, they were actually kicking and beating me. By the time I got to the camp, there was some instruction somewhere that is our elder man in the quarter who does not disturb. Please, people should handle with care. So I was not molested like they have been doing with other people. I was actually not molested. I want to be honest to you.
You want to make us believe that the separatist groups don't have a problem with you being a CPDM official when they don't want CPDM, they don't want Paul Biya in the Northwest and Southwest regions. Is that what you want us to believe here, sir?
I don't say that is what I want you to believe, but I want to tell you something. In every setting, be it political, be it civil, there's never a situation where everybody is bad or everybody is good. So I want us to cancel the fact that we must say that everybody in the CPD is bad. No, not true. Or everybody as a separatist is bad. No, not true. I want us to be clear about this point. So we must be able to go deep and see those who are there to save us and those who are not there to save us. There must be a difference that we have to make instead of just considering everybody as a bad seat. No, there is no setting in the world that everybody is bad or another one where everybody is good. I've never seen it, except you have to disprove me of that.
In your view, do you think that some of the demands by the separatists are reasonable?
Yes, I will say yes, categorically yes. But let me tell you something. The problem has been an exaggeration of certain attitudes. That is why I say there's no perfect society in the world. We don't say they are completely all bad or completely all good. No, but the excesses have been too much. There are certain things that we must be human enough. I want to tell you, I will not tell you that I've never given a franc, but my position has been clear even when it was hot. As if you tell me that you want to eat, you are hungry. My Christian life, my mother was one of those who were behind the creation of the CWA, doesn't permit me to say I'm giving you money to go and buy a bullet, to go and buy a gun, to kill another human being. It has not been my practice. It is not what my mother taught me. And so that has been my stand. So there are certain aspects which were actually good from the beginning. But then we have gone to extremes, which we have to relook at ourselves. The Bible says it itself. There's time to plant and there's time to harvest. So I think it's time to harvest. We have planted, it's time to harvest. Let us give a rethink. There's time to start war, there's time to stop the war. There's time to do everything. So it's time for us to reshape ourselves, to rethink and relook into ourselves and see how we can change our strategies to be able to move ahead and give peace a chance.
You are watching Voices of Africa. I will bring back Mr. Anthony Digambo on the platform, and at some point, I'm going to open the phone line for questions from the public. So if you have a question, get ready, pick up your phone, 240-603-7367. Let me repeat, 240-603-7367. We have a moment for our commercials. Please stand by for our commercial page.
Have you been looking for a reliable and affordable moving company? Garrick Delivery Service moves your belongings using extra safety measures. We offer customized solutions to fit all of your delivery requirements, saving you time and money. We are dedicated to providing you with safe and prompt delivery services by partnering with a network of local drivers. Feel free to call us if you need assistance with booking your delivery. Here are some of the proficient services we offer: local moving services, furniture delivery services, medicines delivery services, letters delivery services, documents delivery services, grocery delivery services, food delivery services, flowers and gifts delivery services, junk removal services, home cleanout service. Other attributes to make you hire our fascinating services. Operational since 2019, 24/7 availability, timely delivery, trusted partnership with local movers. We value your time, maximum customer satisfaction, reasonable rates. Get in touch to book your delivery.
You are watching Voices of Africa on Chat Night, and my guest is Mr. Anthony Digambo, Mayor of Womb Council and first National Vice President of United Councils and Cities of Cameroon. Once again, let's welcome Mr. Digambo on the platform. Mr. Digambo, I want to thank you again for accepting to come on Chat Night Africa to take questions. Clearly, you seem acceptable to a certain degree to Ambazonia armed separatist fighters. What is it that makes you so acceptable and other mayors so detestable?
In a home, even within your children, you will come to understand that it is not every child that can be satisfied with what you are doing in the home. And so when the other child gets up to tell that this one is not correct, you must have to pay some attention to what that child is saying. We are not saying that there is no problem. The problem is, I said it from the beginning, picking up arms. We could be there to put our problems in writing, have debates, have discussions. One thing we fail to understand is that democracy is not an event, it's a process. There are cities, like when I visited the city of Greenville in the United States of America, that city was created in 1630, more than 400 years ago. Most of our cities, there's no city that's up to 100 years in Cameroon. And so there are things that we have to learn. We can only learn when we do things like brothers and sisters, when we do things in a peaceful manner. We must not do things by arm twisting and you name the rest. There are other ways that we can solve problems. And so we understand. That's why I say that in the case of identical twins, if they can differ, what more of a whole nation? Some people have the right to differ. And as a leader, let me tell you, the people might differ, but it must not necessarily mean that when you differ, it means your reason is correct. As a mayor, I want to give you my example. Some people at times have said that, oh, I don't listen. But I listen to everybody. That municipality has 82,000 people. If I have to take the decision of everybody, at the end of the day, it means I will not do anything. So you gather the decisions, those who are protesting, those who are giving their proposals, you put everything together, and you are the driver of that vehicle. At that moment, you take a decision which you know that will benefit the majority. That is what a good leader does.
Are you still worried about your safety living in your municipality in Womb?
Of course. I want to say that I said it from the beginning. Today we have political witch hunting. It must not necessarily be because of the armed conflict. There is political witch hunting today. You don't know who is who. It is used to settle scores. The conflict has come for people to settle scores and so on. So at any moment, you have to be very, very watchful. I must be honest to you. But I think that I drive around in town. I drive around in Womb.
Are you accompanied by soldiers?
No, I am not accompanied by soldiers. I want to be honest to you. I drive around in town. But as I keep saying, precaution has to be taken because of settling of scores today.
The Grand National Dialogue, I think 3 years ago, accorded the Northwest and Southwest regions special status. What are you as mayor now able to do that you were unable to do, or that you would be unable to do before the Grand National Dialogue, before the special status?
Okay, thank you. I want to say that the special status has come to help a lot. I mean, just a lot. For example, I want to start by saying that I'm very, very fortunate that I was one of those who were in the Committee for Decentralization and Local Development, and I actively participated. I remember I was one of those because I was just coming from my kidnap wahala, and I had to make it clear when they were going towards the end. I had to put on my hand for point of order, and I was given the opportunity to speak during the Grand National Dialogue. And I asked, this was the question I asked: is there someone in this hall who has slept in the amba camp? I said, I've done that. I asked, I said, is this somebody who has been in crossfire for 17 hours? Is there somebody who has been in, and so on? I asked about 8 different questions. And I said at the end that the head of state has given us a golden opportunity to see how to resolve the problem. And I think that some of you will not be happy tomorrow if you don't see us as we go back to Bamenda. So it's a golden opportunity for us to see how to handle this issue. And that is when discussions open up. And finally, we came out with a special status today. The special status, we all know, today we have the regional assemblies from the Northwest and Southwest regions. Meanwhile, in the other regions, it's executive councils. You look at the difference. What does that mean? The first thing is that it means that for the Northwest and the Southwest has a right to propose if there are any reforms that have to be taken as far as the educational system and the judicial system is concerned in the country. They have a right to propose that. Today, as a mayor, because after the national dialogue, we had the code on regional and local authorities, which was signed on the 24th of December 2019. That code has just a lot. That councils shall have administrative and financial autonomy. And in this Article 1, shall have in Section 1, have its administrative and financial autonomy. That was not before. That tells a lot. There are a lot of sections there which give a lot of powers to the councils today. Unfortunately, we have a lot of feet dragging. We have a lot of feet dragging to realize the dream of the president about if decentralization had gone full flesh, there are so many things that would have been regulated without people crying again about problems here and there. Our wish is that this situation be put in place as fast as possible for us to be able to realize the dream of the head of state in order to make sure that our country takes back its rightful position. In that code, it is clearly stated. Before then, I remember there was a concern of a divisional delegation, divisional office in whom they just came with documents for us to sign. Today, it is in its Article 167.6, it says that the council shall be mandatorily consulted in the implementation of a project or equipment within the municipality by the state, local authorities, any organization or private authority. That's what the Article 167 says. So you see that today a mayor, because of this code, before then it was composed with that before I go on a mission, the SGO has to put me on a mission, but today the mayor puts himself on a mission, and so on and so forth. There are so many things that have been well clarified and put in place, which most of us are to study and know exactly what is in the code. I want to repeat that. We are talking about special status. Special status is not a document kept somewhere. Nobody has ever practiced special status in Cameroon. At the regional, the Cameroon is a unified, what do I say? A unity decentralized states, meaning that there are certain aspects of that code which we have to deliberate at the council level. There are others that have to be deliberated at the regional level. When we do a deliberation, councillors do a deliberation, the mayor signs and the SDO. The regional councillor do a deliberation, the mayor signs and the governor. All these deliberations will be put in place and come up with a concrete document that will give us the specificity and the objectiveness of the special status.
What is it that you cannot do even with the special status?
Yeah, there are certain things. For example, there is part of what some of us have traveled wide. I've gone to 6 out of the 7 continents in the world. And what I've seen there, one of the challenges we have, the mayor is a planner of the town. When you want to construct a structure, a hospital, a school, or whatever, you have to go to the DO, to the divisional officer, to give you a piece of land where it is you who is supposed to be called the shifter. The land tenure laws were done way back in 1977, and we are clamoring and proposing that those land laws be revised. Because a GO or an SDO comes to stay in a place for 3, 4, 5 years, give you 7 years, you will go. But a mayor is a son of the soil, as you can see, SOS. A mayor, when you commit such a crime, even after you must have gone, they'll call you back. Come and answer this question. Or they'll call your children in your grave. Come and answer what your father did here. So we are so cautious that we don't go into. We know the situation of FACO, for example. It is all these things. So our plea, and we are working towards that. At the level of the National Bureau, we are prepared documents and propose so many things about these land tenure laws. There are other laws which we cannot effectively do now because, as I said, things have to be done progressively. Decentralization is not an event, it's a process. And so we are hoping that with the continuous proposals, things will be adjusted and will have come to be have the best of what we are desiring.
If there are still so many things you cannot do, even with the special status, do you therefore understand why some people just say it's loud sounding nothing? Do they have a point?
They have a point, and at the same time, they don't have. Like I just said, we have never practiced special status in Cameroon. So special status is going, for example, as I said, when we take a deliberation, we copy Mindevel, the Minister of Decentralization and Local Development. The regions take a deliberation, they copy Mindevel. We will have to arrange all these deliberations with time and come out with a document that will give us a befitting special status. You might think that there's nothing that is, go into that document. I ask people to get into that document, the code on regional and local authorities, and see what is there. There is enough, there's a lot inside that document that we, even the authorities, the local authorities, have not been able to implement. We still need time to study that document and go into its in-depth implementation, and you see that so many things will change for the benefit of Cameroonians.
You are watching Voices of Africa, and my guest is the mayor of Womb. Womb is in Menchim division with so many armed groups. Recently, he had a triumphant return to Womb when he was made the first national vice president of United Councils and Cities of Cameroon. I'm going to invite everyone to watch this video, and I'll have some questions for him. Here is part of what happened when he returned to his municipality in Womb. Watch this.
Beyond this atmosphere are electricity and road infrastructural challenges begging for urgent attention.
There are sawmills where they saw planks, there are big businesses, and there are suffering. Even the community radio, which gives information to the local man in Womb, is hardly on air because of lack of power supply.
Celebrating 1 year in office as the first vice president of the United Councils and Cities of Cameroon, this man showed us greater responsibilities.
It's time to meet the authorities in Yaoundé to lobby for the start of the Menchum hydroelectric power project. Time for the Bamenda-Womb Road to be put amongst the section of the ring road.
This crowd pulling event around the region hit by crisis.
Through this mobilization, the first observation you can make is that this is coming back gradually in this Menchum division.
Anthony Digabon is also the mayor of Womb Council in Menchum division.
You just watched part of what happened when Mr. Anthony Digambon came back to Womb after he was made the first national vice president of United Councils and Cities of Cameroon. I have some questions for him, but before I get those questions asked, watch the second video, and we'll have some interesting conversation after that. All right, now we're going to bring on our guest to take some questions related to the speech he made in Womb during that occasion. Mr. Anthony Digambon, believe me, you can liken the reception to the reception that was given Jesus Christ when he came back, when he entered Jerusalem. What is it that you do for people in Womb that they would come out amidst this crisis, the war is still going on in Anglophone Cameroon, to give you such a resounding reception?
It's an interesting question, Divine. I will tell you that the love for my people is beyond bounds, and they themselves have come to realize it. I hate to talk about it because if you saw the way I slept when my family residence was burnt, you will start weeping. But I took all the risks to do that because they're the population I love. And when truly they see that you have the love for your people, the concern for your people, people also, you see those mothers, you see them, they are come out after 6 years. They had never come out. They hardly come out. They came out. Secondly, too, because I am from the palace. I'm a princess. I was the one who was supposed to be born in my palace, a second class from Nongwendu, which was created way back 1966. I put my junior man there. So it is not just easy to come by such things, like you rightly said. I thank God. I thank all those who always support me, those who pray for me. I have a lot of people who pray for me, and I've committed myself to work for my people. And so those were the results. Those were the some of the things that I could really see how the love my people have for me. And that's why I keep doing what I am doing to make sure that they are happy.
Those people who have so much love for you have to go through hell traveling from Bamenda, the regional capital, to where your municipality is. It's hell on the road. Are you surprised that in spite of that, in spite of the troubles, they carry their corpses? I mean, there's no road, good roads, there are no good roads. They are still singing and dancing. Are you surprised they're still doing this?
It's pathetic. You see people transporting corpses on bikes. It's so heartbreaking. I mean, heartbreaking. I want to use this opportunity to appeal to the powers that be that it is said, somebody was asked 4 questions. What do you want? Question number 1, road. Question number 2, road. Question number 3, answer was still road. Question number 4, answer was still road. Which I want to conclude by saying that where a road passes, development follows. It will interest you to know that this December 2023, we are celebrating the Diamond Jubilee, 75th anniversary of the existence of Womb Council. Womb Council was created way back 1948. In those days of Vakuma Bawumka, Bamenda Wumkame. As a district, it went to Native Authority and today Womb Council. How are we going to do this celebration with the bad roads? We have written, we are using all the avenues possible to cry out to the powers that be to think about us to do something on our roads. It will interest you to know that for 5 years we have not had electricity, even though something is being done now for us.
Did you say for 5 years?
5 years, electricity came back on the 1 week, that is during the Nations Cup in 2022, in January 2022, electricity came back for 1 week and went back. And since then, so we have virtually stayed for 5 years without electricity in Womb.
Mr. Digambong, this is what beats my imagination. You are the mayor of that municipality, council area, Womb in Menchum. For 5 years, you admit you haven't had electricity. People are going through terrible experiences coming from Bamenda to Womb. Somebody's asking himself, why are you taking that job? It looks like you're writing and nobody cares about what you write and send to Yaoundé.
Yeah, the first thing is that, like I said from the beginning, I joined the CPDM because I wanted to be inside the house. You cannot be talking about activities about a house when you are not inside. I am inside. What do I mean by this? First and foremost, I make sure that I do my own job diligently within my municipality. And then I go further with the other politicians for us to see what we can do to make sure that we must know that we have problems everywhere. And it will interest you to know that it is over 50 years ago that Womb had a minister. And probably that is why we are continuously remain the core. But we think that somebody somewhere is listening to us and will do something.
Your party chairman is President Biya. He's also the president of the Republic. 40 years ago, I was in Bamenda when he came and promised that he was going to personally supervise the construction of the ring road. That construction hasn't taken place. Now, when residents of your municipality come and ask you this, what's your response? 40 years, we're still not having that road.
Right.
They're going to wait 40 years. What's your response to them?
Right. I will add again that in 2010, when my national president, President Paul Biya, visited Bamenda, he equally in his speech made mention of the Menchum hydroelectric power project, which was supposed to begin, which I know that one was due to the crisis. The Chinese actually came to Wum and stayed in Wum for over 3 months. There were about 26 of them, and these studies completed the studies. I want to give you, why am I giving these examples? Because even in my council, I will tell you today that there was a document I signed in March. One of the delegates told me today that he has not yet seen that document. It's embarrassing to tell you that at times, you as a leader might have good intentions, but the people down there in executing these intentions go and do it their own way. Because when these studies were completed, I followed up to a certain level in Yaoundé, whereby somebody told me that they are asking for millions to validate studies, and so on and so forth. It was heartbreaking. I went further somewhere, but unfortunately, by the time we're getting out of this thing, the crisis stepped in. So what I'm saying is that is true, the road was promised. But as I'm saying, when it's promised, I don't want to say that there was a president. I don't want to even call the name. I know the president who went out and was visiting. I don't want to think that. And each thing that they asked him, he said, I'll give you. This thing, by the time I came by, I realized that the promises were more than the budget of the states of that country. And so he found himself wanting. But I don't think that this was the case. This was a promise from the heart. And unfortunately, things have happened the way they have happened. But thank God, part of the ring road has started, because we know at least that part of the ring road has been done. The road has been tied up to Kumbu. Our wish is that we are a breadbasket of the Northwest Menchum. There's an agricultural basin down in Menchum. Instead of our peace, that instead of going through Messager, Cambe Messager, let them come back to the stretch from Bafut to Wum, so that we can have the produce that's coming out of it. It interests you to know also that the only society, as we are going to call it, the only structure that could give happiness, hope to the people of Menchum, the defunct Wum Area Development Authority, was equally closed down. That structure used to give out about 35 million francs every month. In those days, that was paid out as salaries to people in Wum. You can imagine how it could boost the economy. It was also closed. So how do we survive? So our appeal is that for the economy to be to come back, our appeal is that road be done. Because if that road is done, Wum is a place to visit. Wum has touristic sites.
It has to be very challenging to be mayor, CPDM Mayor. That's why at the start I asked you if it's accurate for me to call you CPDM Mayor, and said yes. It has to be very challenging and sometimes perhaps embarrassing if your municipality hasn't had electricity for 5 years and the roads look more like cattle tracks, and these decisions have to be made in Yaoundé. Those who think that something called enhanced decentralization, call it federation, should respond appropriately to all these problems instead of each time waiting for Yaoundé. Do those people have a point, sir?
Yeah, from the beginning, I talked about full decentralization. What does this mean? I want to give you some statistics. I happen to have some of these statistics. I go into my findings and I get some of these statistics. If you look critically into the state budget of 2023, the code on local and regional authorities says that at least, it didn't say 15, it said at least 15% of the state budget shall be devolved to regional and local authorities. If you get into the state budget for 2023, only 5% of the state budget was given to councils. That is about 252 billion CFA, instead of 700 and something billion. That was what was given to local regions and local councils for 2023. That is why I said that the leader can give instructions, but there are other things that must be implemented. We need good messengers as well, good messengers who can deliver the necessary message given out by the leader. So if this money was equally distributed, I bet you each council having about $1 billion. For example, the Womb Council, my total amount that I receive from the state each year is usually dangling around 100 and something million for one financial year. If I had $1 billion, I bet you, as I told you from the beginning, we managed and bought second-handed tippers. We were thinking of buying a front head loader and so on. If we have this road equipment, if you give me $1 billion every year for the council, I assure you within a short time, Womb will be transformed because we have 6 quarries. We'll be able to buy road equipment and within a short time, we'll transform the Womb municipality. We will not need Yaoundé to come and intervene in our situations. We'll transform the whole Womb municipality to become a modern municipality.
You seem to be a very outspoken mayor. Usually when I listen to people in the ruling party, the CPDM, you have an impression that they're talking more like diplomats than people who actually live with residents in their various areas of jurisdiction. What makes you so bold when other people behave so timid? I mean, when I say others, I mean other mayors.
You see, there's a diplomat.
Are you not worried? Are you not worried that you could go into conflict, head-on conflict with your minister in Yaoundé?
I am giving facts. You see, history is, some people explain history. History is told, not explained. I'm giving like history, what I'm saying. I want to tell you 2 things. Diplomats are different from politicians. A diplomat is, like a philosopher defines, it's an honest citizen sent abroad to tell lies. I'm a politician. A politician is actually, a good politician is supposed to be one that is supposed to better the living conditions of his immediate surrounding or of his citizens. So that is why what I'm saying because I want to better. My minister has been doing a lot of recent. He signed a decision empowering village development committees, that each council area must carve out the whole municipality into quarters and villages that have to organize activities, development activities, and they will report to the council. That's to tell you how we must. I told you that it's a gradual process. I am saying nothing but the truth and being honest. We must only develop when we are honest.
What justified the closure of WADA?
I will come back to point the finger back to me as the mayor. Why do I say me as the mayor? Because I want to tell you something here today. The politicians, why am I saying me? The finger is pointing back to me because the politicians were not apt enough to be able to denounce, to be able to fight for their population. At the time that they were closing WADA, UNVDA, which is operating today, was at a negative balance sheet. WADA was at a positive balance sheet, but WADA was closed. And UNVDA was never closed because some politicians at that time had their personal egos, their personal interests they wanted to satisfy by closing WADA. And that's why they gave up and allowed WADA to be closed for their personal benefits. WADA has been a bit structured. WADA was having a showroom in Bamenda. WADA was having a showroom in, if you hear about the Carrefour WADA today, it will interest you that what the Carrefour WADA today comes from the name WADA. They only added Aaron. One moment I even asked that they have to be paying royalties to whom? That was a whom, because what I used to, if you know the NFC Bank, where it used to be at Carrefour WADA, that was the WADA showroom in those days, where they used to keep beds, beer openers, and so on. Because they sent a team to Kenya that went and learned about these plant openers. They were the first. WADA was the first in Cameroon to start producing those plant openers. So WADA was actually productive. They had a mechanical section. They had a farm section. They had there were so many sections that were in WADA in those days. So WADA was actually productive. WADA was not supposed to be closed, but because of some egoistic reasons, WADA was closed.
Point taken. It's true that when there is a war, lots of resources are diverted from development projects to fighting the war. Could this war have been averted?
Yes.
Why wasn't it?
Because of certain issues that all of us Cameroonians neglected. Because let me tell you, If each and every one of us, because change must not only come from above, change must come from you as an individual, change must come from the family, from the municipality, from the quarter, from the village, from the municipality, from the division, from the region, before it gets up. So all of us neglected our role. Each person neglected his or her own role. Some of us were too arrogant to the youth. Some of us had opportunities that we could employ the youth. We never did that. Some of us and some of us and some of us, you name them, and you never end. So each and every one of us had a blame for where we are today.
And you are watching Voices of Africa on Chat Night. My guest is Mr. Anthony Digabon. He is a CPDM official. And if you're not from Cameroon, CPDM is the ruling party from which, of course, the President of the Republic comes. He's explaining a lot of government functions, and I can understand that. We are going to have a pointed question for Mr. Digabon after our commercial break. And if you're a business person, do not light a lamp, bright lights, and put it under the bed. So I'm going to invite all of you now to watch this ad and take note of the messages. You will like what you see.
Welcome to Garrett Delivery Service LLC. Have you been looking for a reliable and affordable moving company? Garrett Delivery Service moves your belongings using extra safety measures. We offer customized solutions to fit all of your delivery requirements, saving you time and money. We are dedicated to providing you with safe and prompt delivery services by partnering with a network of local drivers. Feel free to call us if you need assistance with booking your delivery. Here are some of the proficient services we offer. Local moving services, furniture delivery services, medicines delivery services, letters delivery services, documents delivery services, grocery delivery services, food delivery services, flowers and gifts delivery services, junk removal services, home cleanout service. Other attributes to make you hire our fascinating services. Operational since 2019, 24/7 availability, timely delivery, trusted partnership with local movers. We value your time, maximum customer satisfaction, reasonable rates. Get in touch to book your delivery.
All right, don't say we did not tell you. You have the number to call Garrick. If you do business, you can contact us at chatnightafrica@gmail.com. chatnightafrica@gmail.com, and we will tell your story to the four corners of the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the Mayor of WOM. Mr. Digabon, I was in Bamenda in 1982 as a reporter, young reporter, when the President of the Republic came visiting. He came there a number of times, and the whole town was jumping, gyrating for joy. People, I could see women crying, shedding tears of joy, as if they were receiving Jesus Christ into Jerusalem. Why have people become so disillusioned about anything President Biya does, especially in the Northwest region?
As I said from the beginning, there's time for everything. But I want to assure you, Divine, that for the moment, President Biya remains one of those top revolutionaries in Africa. I can give you with concrete examples what I'm talking about.
Could you please?
Yes. I don't know where you're aware of the treaty, military treaty that the president signed with the Russian government some time ago.
You're talking about a military treaty?
Yes.
To do what with military hardware from Russia?
It has a lot to do politically that I cannot go into details, but I will, with some time I will explain to you. Again, if you realize today, we know that one of the challenges, President Paul Biya came, one of the challenges today is you see revolution within Africa, countries trying to revolve against France and so on. President Biya is a strategist who go gradually in solving his own problems. Today in Cameroon, when President Biya came in, after some time, the enterprises, French enterprises in Cameroon were about 40% of the enterprises in Cameroon. Today, they are less than 5%. Go somewhere and take statistics about what I'm talking about. It will interest you to also know that on the 26th of December 2020, President Paul Biya refused to renew the colonial accord between Cameroon and France.
Is this verifiable?
Yes. Yes. And so it's only a president who knows the interests of his people. People outside there might not be able to see it as something, but I think it's a revolutionaries who knows, who with the experience, with the time he has spent in power, has been able to have a lot of experience in handling his people. You see, when the crisis started, so many people did not know the reality of what we are seeing today. There is time for everything, as I said. There's time to applaud a human being, and there's time. There's a saying that when the curtains fall, it's time to leave the stage. It doesn't necessarily mean that curtains fall and everybody must leave the stage. It depends on what is happening behind that stage at the time. So I want to tell you that he is somebody who loves his country, and he's doing everything to put it in place. You remember when President Macron came to Cameroon asking a question, what are you thinking about passing over power? He said, when the time comes, the solution will be solved. As simple as that. So, we love Chat-Night Africa. Are we together?
We're together.
Okay. So I think that he is one of those rigorous presidents that have his people at heart. It's just a matter of time. You know, in leadership, they say that it is only when you are not there that people started recognizing their importance. Even myself, despite all what I'm doing, some people do not even recognize that the day I'll step out of it, that when they'll start recognizing. So I think that there's no problem. Things are being done in favor of Cameroonians, and I am sure that in no distant time, we'll reap the results of what we are doing today.
It looks like somebody is on the line who'd like to ask you a question. As soon as the person picks up the phone, I will open the line for the person. Yes. Please, could you stop anything you are listening? Could you turn down the volume of anything you are listening to that? Any device?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Just speak to me as you talk on the phone.
Yes, I have a question for, permit me to call him the so-called mayor. My question is, I have two questions. I don't know, Comrade Divine.
Yes, go ahead.
If you will allow me to ask.
Yes, please. Ask one at a time. The first one, please, keep it short and respectful.
Yes, okay, yes. When were you elected mayor of whom? Who elected you mayor of whom?
That's the first.
As far as I know, there's been war from 2017 to now. When were you elected? Who elected you?
Okay, that's the first question, correct? Is that the first question?
Yes, that's the first question.
Okay, hold on for him to. Okay.
Let me just ask the second question.
Ask the second question, then he'll just respond all to both at once.
Yes, okay, then I'm also happy that he talked about Paul Biya being a revolutionary. Paul Biya knows about treaties and made a treaty with Russia. Can he add, if he's very close to Paul Biya, to present the treaty that Southern Cameroon's Ambazonians signed with Paul Biya? Because if he knows so much about treaties, he will definitely have a treaty between the two countries, the two states, let me call it if you want that way. If Paul Biya is such a revolutionary who knows, charity begins at home. If he knows about treaties so much, can he present a copy of the treaty between Southern Cameroon and French Cameroon that because I hear him as the mayor, 5 years, no electricity, but he is asking the powers that be, begging that they come and give us light where we have Benchum Fall.
Okay.
So when was the treaty? When did we give Cameroon the consent to rule Ambazonia? Show me. If you give a treaty, I'm telling you, you present that treaty now, they won't stop tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, sir. From what part of the world are you calling?
I'm calling from Europe, sir.
All right. Thank you for calling. Thank you. All right. Of course, I'm sure you came knowing that you will be challenged.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
So there was a war going on when these elections were going on. How can you claim that you have the mandate of the people? That's essentially his first question.
Okay. The first thing I think that when we come on social media, we should have respect for each other. Respect has to be mutual.
Absolutely. Anybody who calls this show has to be respectful. They can disagree with you.
Respect for every human being.
Correct. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. And so I want to correct him that there were no elections in 2017. He is talking about 2017. There were never elections in Cameroon in 2017. And to tell him that I was elected mayor on the 16th of October 2013. I've been mayor for 10 years. I was never handpicked. I went into a competition with other political parties and I duly won my elections since 2013.
Okay, that point taken. Can you answer the second question, if you can?
The second question is that I don't think it's in the social media that we have to come and be showing treaties. There is time for whatever thing has to be done. If we are talking about treaties, I did not come here to be showing treaties. There are situations, it's just like when you have a land dispute with somebody, you don't just get into your house or your home and bring out a land certificate because you want to show that you have this problem with this person. It is when the appropriate quarters, the land tenure or the DO comes and wants to see a land certificate, probably you will be able to be asked your land certificate and you present it at that time. That's what I can say. Thank you.
And anybody who wants to ask the mayor of Wombe, Mr. Anthony Digango, can dial the number 240-603-7367, 240-603-7367. You can also do 001, that's if you're overseas, and your call can come through WhatsApp. There is this war that is going on in the southwest and northwest regions of Cameroon. What would it take to bring peace to those areas, sir?
Peace is not a one-man show. Peace starts from within us. It's for us to believe that we need peace because you can never buy peace with money. You can never buy peace with money. And there can never be any meaningful development without peace. So I think that we must start by searching deep into our minds to see how we can talk about peace, to see how we can begin to develop ourselves, to see how we can dialogue with each other. Dialogue must not be necessarily mean at the level of Yaoundé. I want to bet you that we must start dialoguing within ourselves. Let me give you an example, Divine, to tell you that one of the challenges I met in my council area was the fact that most people do not know the importance of the council. They thought that a council is made of the mayor, the parliamentarian, and probably the SDO, a few other people. But when I took over, when I discovered that there are some ERIC students who came on internship way back 2015 in Wombe. And when they did their internship, one of the reports they gave to me was the fact that they passed somewhere, children were trained banana peelings and granola peelings. And when they asked them who will carry them, why are you littering the streets with this type of rubbish? They said the council will come and clean it. I decided all the council sessions of Wombe Council, the president of Bayam Selam is invited. That's we call them presidents of socio-professional groups are invited. The president of Bayam Selam, the president of Benskin, the president of Bricklayers Union, Carpenters Union, and so on, you name the rest. They are all invited to the council session. And we commit them to go back and have the necessary meetings with their colleagues and explain to them the functioning of the council. I said it from the beginning, once you're not informed, you are deformed. Most of these challenges are because people are not aware of what is happening. just a diagnosis. You ask about, I want to tell you again that when you are able to listen to your population, you are already 50% solution given to them once you are able to listen to them. Some people die off because of heart attacks because nobody is there to listen to them. You must start by, first of all, the leaders listening to their population, being humble to their population, listen with a lot of care with their worries. When you listen and listen very well to somebody's worries, I bet you that's already 50% solution to those problems.
You are watching Voices of Africa. My name is Divine Chamakong, and we're broadcasting on high definition. You can also watch this broadcast. It's on the internet. In other words, hitting the four corners of the planet. Just simply go to www.chatnetafrica.net, or the shortcut is, if you have an Android phone, simply go on your Play Store and download the Chat Night Africa app. It's built with ironclad security, Google security. And once we hit the air, you will get notifications. And from that app, you can navigate all the social media platforms where we are present. So if you haven't yet downloaded that platform, downloaded the app, simply go to the Google Play Store and download the app. I have a very good friend of mine, Dr. Elo, who is watching. Dr. Elo is the person who built this platform to look the way it is. So if you'd like to build your own platform, contact me and I will hook you up with that. Believe me, this guy is unbelievable. He's incredible what he does. I want to also thank Mr. Roger Full, who comes from your area, Mr. Mayor. He's my producer right out there in Lagos. Thanks to him, we're able to have presence in almost every social media platform. So go now to Google Play Store, download the app, just search Chat Night Africa, and you will get our app there. Once you download it to your phone, you will simply hit the app and get connected instantaneously. You can call the number 240-603-7367, 240-603-7367 to ask the mayor your question directly. As long as you remain respectful, you will not be interrupted. So I've given out the number. Don't call me later on and say the mayor said this. Not correct. You can fact check him right now. Mr. Mayor, the war today that's going on is as a result of Anglophone disillusionment. Looking at the experience that they've had since the unification, the country became United Republic, and then Republic of Cameroon, do you really think that Anglophones don't have a reason to complain?
I answered this question so many times that there is a problem. That is clear. There is a problem.
And the problem escalated because apparently somebody was not listening.
Yeah. I said again that not only somebody, all of us were not listening. And that is why you are able to see the turnout during my homecoming to tell you that where people listen, things did not escalate.
When you talk about peace, how do you talk about peace without justice? I mean, peace is a natural offshoot of justice. When there's justice, people are in peace. People don't have to worry about. Why are you people in CPDM not talking about justice? You're talking about peace, peace. Drop your arms, drop your arms, drop your arms.
You see, what is justice? I want to give you an example of a child that has beaten the elder brother, has beaten the junior brother. It is not necessarily by giving, let's say the junior brother gave 5 slaps, or the elder brother gave 5 slaps to the junior brother. It's not necessarily by giving the junior brother or the elder brother 5 slaps that you think that there's justice. Justice will prevail more when you are able to bring those 2 brothers and make them understand that they are brothers and sisters, or they are brothers from the same home. It speaks more of justice And because once they understand themselves as brothers, the justice will automatically come without you even asking for it. Once there is peace, justice will come without you talking about it. I don't know whether yes.
So when will your party start talking about justice instead of just saying peace, peace, peace?
I have said and I repeat, we started, the Cameroonians started with the Grand National Dialogue. In the Grand National Dialogue, so many things came out. Some of those things are already trying to appease. They are now bringing the two brothers I just quoted that were fighting together. After these brothers must have reconciled and known that they are brothers from the same womb, justice will automatically come, because this brother will say, but then you are giving me slaps. Why did you give me these slaps when you were not supposed? Maybe the other brother will say, it's because I did not know that we are actually from the same womb. So we can start from somewhere, and the somewhere is the Grand National Dialogue that we had.
And the somewhere also could be a meeting Ayabacho. If you travel to Norway, would you want to talk to Ayabacho?
Why not?
What would you tell?
Mr. Adibai, I want to tell you that
he is called a terrorist by your camp.
No, that is one of the principles that I work on. Every human being is a human being. There is no human being on earth that has a right by the Bible to take away the life of another one. So anybody that I meet, it's a human being, it's a Cameroonian. Or let me put it a human being. I don't want to, let me not emphasize on Cameroonian. It's a human being. And so I treat that human being with dignity. If it's possible for me to meet him and talk, we will talk, because as I say, politics is all exchanging ideas. When you buy my ideas, I vote for you. J.F. Kennedy said, the ballot is stronger than the bullet. It is when you are bought my idea, we now go into the ballot box and we see who is stronger there. And if I meet him today, we'll be able to exchange as brothers from the same area.
If you exchange as brothers from the same region, the principle of resolving conflicts is seeking middle ground. What would you tell Ayabacho, Chris Anu, or Sako Ekome?
I have said, if we have to meet, we'll talk like brothers. We probably, who knows, each person has a right to convince the other and to see the reason why this thing must be this way or this one must be that way. It's a matter of convincing each other and knowing the value. I keep repeating my problem, the value of lives, which can only be taken away by God and no other human being.
When I listen to you, Mr. Digambong, I have the impression that you are a clear-thinking politician. You're a politician, and there's nothing that says that tomorrow you might not want to be the president of the republic when Biya goes away. One day he'll go. He'll not be there forever. If you were president of the republic today, what would you do differently?
I don't want us to talk about...
You don't want to be president, you're a politician.
I don't know which
the
words
purpose
to
of
use.
Politics is to take power.
I don't know which words to use. I don't want to climb to heaven to tell you that I will go to heaven body and soul, like Mary just did a few days
Why
ago.
not? Barack Obama was the first-time senator and became president of the United States.
Sure,
so you can be president of Cameroon tomorrow.
But I'm saying that I have already enumerated. If you cannot manage 100,000, you will not manage 1 million, you will manage 1 billion. I can give my examples, what I've been doing. It's what is pleasing my people. As I've said, a good leader must pray every morning. I don't want to open up here to tell you.
You think if you had a bishop as president, things would change?
No, okay. It doesn't mean that. It's not all who say amen, amen will see the kingdom of heaven. You must know that. So it's not. Human beings are not because of this title or that makes you a Christian. No, it starts from within you. Every morning when I get up, I pray. And the prayers, I don't want to stand here and be telling you what I've achieved because of prayers. But my municipality has achieved so many things.
What are some best practices in conflict resolution, sir?
Yeah, best practice in conflict resolutions is putting everybody on the same platform before you start judging. Everybody must be seen as equals. And those are some of the tactics that we used back in home to be able to raise this one as this and so on. At one moment, let me tell you, Divine, we went after we must have sat and considered a lot of. The first is that in 20 we had a peace, an ecumenical service. After the ecumenical service, we came out with certain strategy. We resolved with the military that from now henceforth, we will not get any gunshot except you see somebody carrying a gun. Can you shoot the person? If not, we'll manage the situation the way we can. And that reduced the number of casualties within that municipality. We worked like a team as such, and then we were beginning to understand ourselves because we consider everybody on the same platform. That is one of the conditions in conflict resolution and conflict management. You must hardly take sides. Before you take sides, you must have come between the two warring factions, between the two disagreeing factions, and be able to talk to them. When you must have talked and convinced and hear from both sides, that when you can take sides. So we were taking people on the same platform and trying to see how to handle the situation.
In politics, it's said you don't negotiate with friends, you negotiate with enemies. Do you think it's time for the government in Yaoundé to actually bring in some of these belligerent actors like the Yabachos and Chris Anu, Sarkozy, and really talk to them face to face?
I want to start by saying that in politics, I rather differ with you. In politics, they say there are no permanent friends, no permanent enemies. What is permanent is the goals, the development goals. There are no permanent friends, no permanent enemies in politics. What is permanent is the permanent goals. I would say yes, I would say no. Why? Let me explain to you. The President of the Republic has given an olive branch to those. I want to ask you whether you know the consequences of, for example, burning the flag of a nation. The flag of a nation is more than the President of the Republic. There are other things that we have done. I'm not saying this particular person or that particular person. We have done, which are not good for the nation, for our great nation, Cameroon. That's why I'm saying that there's still an olive branch. It does not specify that it's for A or B. So if somebody is ready to receive that olive branch and say, okay, this is what we want to do. This is what we are thinking. We have done this. It is the way forward. What do we think now? This is what I'm proposing that we can move forward. Why not? Why not? There's nobody who is permanent enemy or permanent friend in politics, I just said. So I think there's possibility for everything once that olive branch is still there from the President of the Republic.
If you accepted to come to talk to me, knowing that this is not CLTV, I think it's because you value press freedom, you value frank questioning, which is what we do at Chat Night Africa. It's now 4 years since Samuel Wazizi was killed in the hands of government security operatives. Have you a word for Samuel Wazizi's family?
Well, I don't want to say that I am a politician, and unfortunately, I cannot be able to say anything in clear terms as far as Wazizi's situation is concerned, apart from what we read on newspaper. I am somebody that before I give a pronouncement, before I make a statement about something, I must have verified facts before I say anything about it. So for that reason, I've not been able to verify because I didn't take it as a priority for my community. So I've not been able to verify anything. So I want to stay mute about that. But I will encourage that family because losing a soul is not easy today. Who knows? Maybe he was the only breadwinner in that family. I only encourage them to pray to God to be able to show them a way out for them to live without this great guy.
We love Chat Night Africa.
And before we go, I'm going to ask for your last words, sir.
Thank you. I will humbly say I didn't come here to challenge whoever. I didn't come here because I know too much. I came to share my ideas so that they can help A, who knows? They could help B, who knows? I want to plead that, like some of the activists are already saying, it's time for us to give a second thought. What is the way forward? In every situation in sciences that I did, there is time for evaluation, self-evaluation. How far have I gone? Where should I stop? Should I look behind? What can I do? And I want to use this opportunity to plead to all the listeners that we are within the municipality open to any proposals and criticisms at any time for us to better deliver our services. Our interest is to give the best services to this community, to our community, because any administrative act which does not put the population at first is a bad administrative act. And so we are conscious of that. And that's why we ask for prayers. We ask for support in all forms so that together we can make a wonderful municipality. Thank you.
Are you accessible to the people you lead? And I say this because the notion of power in Africa can be, people generally, I'm not saying you, generally people take power to lord it over other people. Do the people of Menchum have access to you? If they want to talk to the mayor, can they walk in and talk to the mayor and even disagree with you?
Yeah, of course. We in Womb Council, we even practice, George reminded me, practice what we call inclusiveness. What do we mean? For example, the town hall which is being constructed did not have a lift. So we have had to break it to make sure that we put a lift, because we have insisted that everybody has a right to see the mayor. Whether you are disabled or not, you have a right to see the mayor. It's a right. And so there's a council deliberation since 2015 saying that every public building in Womb municipality must have a lift and ramp. If you cannot have a lift, it should have a ramp. If you cannot have it, you should have both a ramp and a lift. The mayor is accessible to everybody at any time who wants to see the mayor. He's accessible.
Thank you, sir. I have to say, you are a different kind of mayor, a different kind of leader, probably because of the exposure you have through your international travels.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I have to be honest with you. When I extended to you this invitation, I wasn't sure you're going to accept it. I thought that you were going to say, okay, let me call my minister and take his approval. So you seem to be thinking differently. Which is good. This is the kind of breed of leaders that I think Africa now needs. Thank you again, sir.
You're welcome.
And when you go back to Womb is a place I know so well. I've been there when I was a journalist in Bamenda. A lot of time, so many times with different governors. So I love the people of Womb. I love the bush meat in Womb.
Yeah.
So when I come to Cameroon, trust me, I will be visiting you for some bush meat. I love that. Can you just imagine if that construction of the ring road took place? I mean, we went into the hinterlands in Menchum division, and the plantains, the bush fowl, the beans that's cultivated just in incredible quantities.
That is why I told you, Divine, that we have a very rich agricultural basin in Menchum in particular, and Womb in particular, Menchum in general. And I forgot, I said it from the beginning that we have the 75th, the Diamond Jubilee of the Council, 1948 to 2023. So I'm inviting everybody the world over. We are going to come out with flyers. We're going to come out with publicity. The date is from the 4th of December to the 10th of December, 2023, right in Womb.
You know what? When you go back, keep telling the people in Yaoundé that the Menchum 4, you don't deserve to be in darkness for 5 years when there's a Menchum 4 right behind your backyard. You should not be in darkness. Thank you again, sir, for coming on Chat Night Africa. Did you want to say something before you leave?
No. I thank you so much. I decided that you should open the lines, because to me,
I opened it. I announced the phone number.
There's nothing we have to hide today. We have to say the truth. because only the truth that can set us. It's only the truth that will develop Cameroon. We must develop Cameroon. It's our challenge. We must leave a Cameroon better than what we saw.
Thank you again.
We love Chat Night Africa. Keep watching Chat Night Africa.
And it's right here. We're going to draw the curtain. But before we go, again, you see, you can simply go to the App Store. If you have an Android phone, go to the App Store and search Chat Night Africa. Download it to your phone. Once we are on, you will get notifications, and you just hit the app and get connected to whether YouTube, Instagram, I don't know, Twitter, the internet. This show is now on our website, broadcasting live to the world. You simply can go to www.chatnightafrica.net. But if you have the app on your phone, you don't have to go on the browser. Just tap it on your phone and you get connected instantaneously. I want to thank all the people who, contributed money so that we build that app and launch it. We still need money. Please, please, please help us put the app in for Apple users, iPhone users. We need money. Help us, help us. We can't do this without you. I want to thank Dr. Elo. Dr. Elo, who is watching, is the guy who designed this platform for it to look the way it is. So if you are doing social media work like I do and would like your platform to look this beautiful, contact me. I will hook you up with Dr. Elo. I also have to say thank you to Mr. Mumbalingwa, who is my director of transmission. Thank you also to my right-hand man, my lieutenant, that's Mr. Roger Full, who happens to come from Menchum Division. He is my social media platforms manager, my tech support guy, chief. He does just amazing work for us at Chat Night Africa. Before I go, let me again say that if you are running a business and would like us advertise it on our platform, we are on Google global search engines. We're everywhere around the planet. Let us know. Don't light bright lights and put it in the closet. One more time, our commercial page, then I'll come back to say goodbye. Watch this.
Welcome to Garrett Delivery Service LLC. Have you been looking for a reliable and affordable moving company? Garrett Delivery Service moves your belongings using extra safety measures. We offer customized solutions to fit all of your delivery requirements, saving you time and money. We are dedicated to providing you with safe and prompt delivery services by partnering with a network of local drivers. Feel free to call us if you need assistance with booking your delivery. Here are some of the proficient services we offer: local moving services, furniture delivery services, medicines delivery services, letters delivery services, documents delivery services, grocery delivery services, food delivery services, flowers and gifts delivery services, junk removal services, home cleanout service. Other attributes to make you hire our fascinating services. Operational since 2019, 24/7 availability, timely delivery, trusted partnership with local movers. We value your time, maximum customer satisfaction, reasonable rates. Get in touch to book your delivery.
Right, as you can see, you can do your art here. On this platform, we have three programs. We have Healthline, we have Family Matters, and Voices of Africa, which is what you've just been watching. Next Friday, you will be watching Family Matters with a firebrand in social media, Toyin Abiola. She is coming on next week. Believe me, this same time, you don't want to miss that woman. She's incredible. So that'll be Family Matters next week on the show. My name is Divine Chamko. Merci à tout le monde. Thank you for watching this broadcast. So I will see you soon and very soon. Bye for now.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm coming to get down. I'm coming to dance, We're gonna dance, we're gonna dance, we're gonna get down, we're gonna get down, we're gonna party, party hardy. boogie woogie. And when we jam, it's out of sight. This song right here, it's dynamite.